You won't believe what happened until I rewind and lay it all out. Picture this. I've just returned home early from training. You know, the kind of intensive, high-stakes stuff they don't teach mall security guards. And I'm stepping into the quiet of our kitchen. Through the window I see my wife, Sarah, trying to carry in our groceries. Groceries in her arms, balancing bags, with milk already spilled onto the hot Texas driveway. Then, out of nowhere, this rent-a-cop, wearing a fake badge, storms out, screaming at her. Without warning, he slaps her so hard, crack, that the bags fly open, groceries explode like fireworks, eggs splatter, milk spreads in a thin slick on the asphalt. He grinds eggs under his boot like he's stamping out hope, tugs at his counterfeit badge, sneers, "Next time, follow HOA rules, lady." That's when it clicked. He had no clue what training I just walked in from. That kind of training where they teach you how to neutralize threats before breakfast. Before I go any further, I've got to know, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts wherever you're watching from. I'll bet quite a few of you have HOA horror stories too, because this wannabe cop was fixated on teaching a military family a lesson, and lessons sometimes come with consequences. There's history behind this explosion. I'm Commander Jake Steele, 15 years active duty as a Navy SEAL, transitioning into reserves. Think of the kind of training that prepares you to deal with real threats. Dozen ways to neutralize danger before most people even sip their coffee. My wife, Sarah, is everything opposite of me in the best way. She's a pediatric nurse at San Antonio Children's Hospital. Her weapon is kindness, not force. We balance each other out. Emma, our 12-year-old, and Marcus, 9, straight A kiddos. They think Dad's job involves a lot of camping and swimming. If only they knew. 6 months ago, we bought what seemed like our dream home in Oakwood Estates. 200 homes of that pristine suburban bliss 30 minutes from San Antonio. Morning air smelled like fresh mulch. Sprinklers whirred like tiny machine guns at dawn. Every lawn was perfectly trimmed. Every driveway scrubbed clean, every resident shelling out $350 a month to maintain this slice of paradise. The next-door neighbors, the Chens, brought dumplings that smelled like heaven. 3 houses down, the Rodriguezes waved from their pristinely painted porch, a place where kids played in the streets and Friday night barbecues filled the air with mesquite smoke. Everything was ideal until we met Brenda Hartwell. Brenda Hartwell was every Karen stereotype amplified and weaponized. 52, bleached bob, designer workout clothes, even though the only cardio she did was sprinting to conclusions. She drove a white BMW SUV with vanity plates that spelled HOAPRES. Subtlety died the day she became HOA president. Also a real estate agent, divorced, seething, and apparently resentful that property dues didn't cover her personal drama. Week 2 home, I pull into the driveway to find a violation notice zip-tied to our mailbox. We'd flown an American flag. Apparently that counted as an unapproved decoration, $150 fine, 48 hours to remove, or daily fines would pile up like sharks circling. Sarah called Brenda calmly. Brenda lectured back with that weaponized condescension, saying military families sometimes struggle with civilian expectations. I come home from overseas deployments without flinching in 4 hostile countries, but suburban Texas apparently triggered my adaptation reflex. I tried diplomacy, temporarily took the flag down. Sarah hoped maybe we could talk this out. That lasted until Brenda revealed her secret weapon. Derek Hartwell. 28, Brenda's nephew, unemployed, failed police academy not once, but twice. Psychological evaluation said, unsuitable temperament, so basically too unstable even for real police. He cruises the neighborhood in a white pickup, with magnetic security signs and a surplus uniform that fools nobody. Gravel crunching under those tires became the strangest, most unsettling soundtrack. I was washing my F-150 with veteran plates when Derek pulled up loud enough to wake the neighbors. He claimed a commercial vehicle violation, spat into a Mountain Dew bottle, which could have been a weapon if inhaled, demanded $200. I produced registration and pointed out the veteran plates, but he shrugged. My measurements are what counts, pal. Yeah, it smelled like cheap cologne and irrational authority. Sarah tried to talk him down and got told something about military people not making the rules. I went to bed thinking I'd handled it, but that was only the beginning. A few weeks later, he cited us for grass height. Fine was $200 plus $50 daily penalties. It wouldn't bug me, except the grass was 3.25 inches and the HOA limit was 3.5. I measured it myself. Right. Then I called and told Derek the difference. He repeated the same line. My measurements count. Threat implied. I'd handled threats bigger than this in hostile zones, but not before coffee, and this was just the driveway. I hit the books. Dug into Texas property code, HOA bylaws, and legal loopholes. Found 3 technical violations in Derek's citation. No specific measurements, no licensed inspector signature, no proper procedure. I filed a formal HOA complaint and demanded credentials and documentation. Brenda called a board meeting at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, 24 hours notice. Virtually no one worked those hours. Board meeting theater. Sarah attended, calm, armed with facts, and fair intent. She laid out everything: missing documentation, invalid procedure, requesting remeasurement with witnesses. Reasonable ask. Instead, the board voted 3-1 to expand Derek's authority. He could now issue immediate citations for visual violations. They literally changed the rules mid-game. We urged again. They shuttered process. Derek returned the next day and slapped us with $450 in fines for bikes, garden hose visibility, and a driveway misalignment. Pure retaliation. On the neighborhood Facebook group, Brenda posted that some families don't understand community values. Nancy added, military people think rules don't apply to them because they've got guns. Keyboard cruelty bloomed. Sarah replied with diplomacy and facts, got called a military wife with an attitude. I went full military intel on him. Turns out Derek wasn't licensed, had no insurance, and his company didn't exist. Verified with the Texas Private Security Board. That meant impersonation. I filed complaints with the county sheriff and AG and demanded HOA financial records. Brenda went into panic mode. Derek escalated harassment, drive-bys, late-night parking lot surveillance, following Sarah at the grocery store, even approaching my kids at the school bus stop, saying families with military guys aren't welcome. When Emma told me, something in me tightened like a pre-mission alert. A few threats? Manageable. My wife? Serious. My kids? Unacceptable. Sarah convinced me to stick with legally sound responses. I installed security cameras, legal in Texas, to document everything. Derek's truck idled, his shadow followed. I gathered footage, dug deeper. Derek had 2 DUIs, domestic violence arrests dropped due to non-cooperation, psychological failures, not fit for prom, let alone authority. Sarah made contact with Bob's wife from the HOA board. Bob was the treasurer. She learned Derek was being paid $3,000 a month out of the maintenance fund with no contract or board vote. Embezzlement alert. I subpoenaed the HOA financials. Brenda handed Derek a goon squad. Community funds were financing harassment. Good intel forces panic. Derek blocked my truck one day, demanded to search my vehicle. I asked for a warrant or badge. He had none. Authorities? None of that is allowed. Derek sputtered, insisted he had authority, but in Texas contractors can only observe and report. I stayed calm. Neighbors started speaking up. The Chen's lanterns were cited. Rodriguez's cultural music. Mrs. Patterson had midnight inspections. Sarah created a shared harassment log. Pattern: minorities and military families targeted while others ignored. Civil rights lawyers began salivating. Derek started showing up at Sarah's hospital workplace, claiming HOA business. Security escorted him out. Then he filed a false 911 call about a domestic disturbance. Police found calm family studying algebra and piano. First responders recognized Derek was lying and filed a report about false emergency. Beautiful legal ammo. Brenda tried distancing. Derek spiraled even faster. Nighttime prowling stopped only when Marcus, my Marine buddy, started wellness check driving by. But Derek shifted his attack. Targeted kids, grocery runs, even staging follow-up visits. Sarah handled everything with unwavering composure. I took emergency leave, dug through footage, built a case. Not random, systematic targeting. Cultural decorations, music, grief, all weaponized. Legal net closing. Subpoenaed HOA documents, found Brenda had stolen over $60,000, pool fund used for spa treatments, landscaping funds for her BMW, event fees for divorcing herself from her old life. South Padre vacation funded by HOA money. Sarah read the fine print. Section methinks where to appeal. Enforcement required a 60% homeowner petition or vote. Those citations, invalid. Felony impersonation. Our case became bigger than us. Neighborhood woke up. Support poured in. Brenda panicked. She tried to scapegoat Derek. He responded by releasing audio, with Brenda's voice instructing military families not welcome, monetizing fear, plus detailed embezzlement admissions. Criminal conspiracy exposed. Board members turned. Bob resigned. Petition for Brenda's removal got 89% signatures in 72 hours. She tried to flee with suitcases of cash and fake docs, caught at DFW, arrested on camera, internet laughed her fail into viral infamy. Additional charges piled, flight risk, money laundering, fraud. Derek's arrest had been sweet. Attacked us, ended up in prison with zero authority. Brenda followed soon after. I was named interim HOA president. We eliminated security, refunded fines, implemented transparency. Media landed on us fast. Local news, veterans channels. Our case became symbol of military family rights and HOA reform. Civil lawsuit ended in a $175,000 settlement, plus attorney fees. Brenda's house sold to reimburse. Legislative waves hit. Texas Military Family Protection Act drafted, other states followed. I found a new calling helping military families. Annual Unity Festival replaced HOA tyranny with flags and music and BBQs. Kids played where once they feared. Flags flew again. That's the story. Sometimes justice isn't a calm resolve. It's a military-grade plan executed with precision and heart. Sometimes the good guys win. Share your HOA nightmare in the comments. You're not alone. And together, we make justice louder than fake authority. Let me know if you'd like me to tweak the tone or pace. I can adapt it however you like.